Hey guys, today we're building a birdhouse. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're gonna build a birdhouse, but not just any type. I wanted it to remind us, we're on the coast here, so wanted to have a little bit of a lighthouse feel to it. All right. So I started by taking a scrap piece of 2x6 cedar that I had. I resawed it on my bandsaw and then planed it to size. All right. So you can obviously get those at project store or whatever just thinner sheet. All right, I'm fortunate to have the tools to mill it, so I did. All right, so the first thing I want to do here is build the body, which is going to be an hexagon. All right, so 6 sides. I want it to be about 12-inch high, so what I'm going to do here is cut this at 12-inch. All right, which is about here. And when I lay these out here, I make sure to kind of look through my pile here and make sure that I'm avoiding any knots if I have any, right? Because again, this is not top-notch quality wood. It's really basically those are remnants from the bed, the raised bed that we built a couple of years ago. All right, so let's cut them. All right, so I have 3 nice pieces, as you can see, pretty clear cedar, right, on both sides. And what I want to do now is cut 6 pieces out of this that are going to be beveled at 30 degrees, okay? Because the 30 plus 30 is 60. I have 6 times 60 for 360 degrees, right? So that's just basic math, right? So first thing I want to do here is cut it in half. Then I'm going to set my saw to 30 degrees and then bevel all edges. All right, so I set my table a little bit wider than the final board's going to be. All right, just so that I'm in good shape, and the bevel is going to make my final dimension. All right. All right, so in order to set my 30 degree here, I'm not going to trust the saw's setting here, because this has to be pretty precise. So what I'm going to do here is use my protractor here. Okay, 0. And as you can see, I let it out as much as I can, so that way I know it's right. All right, so now I'm going to set the fence so that I can take just the angle off, all right, and then flip it and run the other side, all right. All right, and now I have nice 30 degree angle that I'm going to be gluing, okay, and that way I'm going to be able to make a nice little shape here. All right, so before we do the glue up, we need to put the hole, the opening for the bird to go in, and we also need to put the pegboard, right? So the way we do that is by simply finding the center of the board, all right? Now, size of the hole and all of that, I'm going to put the description, I'm going to put a link in the description for the resource I use, okay? Because birds have different needs, right? Different hole size, different floor to hole space, all right? And that's really important for them. If the size isn't right, they're not going to nest, even though everything else is fine. So I'm trying to attract, chickadee, those kinds of thing, wren. And what I have to do here is put a 1 1/4 inch hole, 4 to 6 inch from the bottom, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it around the middle, which is going to be the 6 inch, all right? And that way, you know, it's going to be all good, all right? So what I'm going to use this, my Forstner bit here. All right, so each panel is 2 5/8, okay? Which means that I have to do 1 3/16, right? 5/16. All right, and 1/2 inch dowel for the little legs. All right, so I'm going to glue this up using tape, all right? And the way you do this, you simply find a straight edge, put all your boards nice and flush, and take a piece of tape and just overlap the joint. Now this looks like this, but now if I take it and make it round, okay, that's what we're getting. All right, cool. So the last thing I want to do here before I put glue is put a couple of these here, so I don't have to worry about where the tape is when I'm gonna have glue there. All right, let's flip it around. I'm going to use my waterproof Tide Bond here and my silicone brush. Very cool. Now we just fold it. Go. All right, body of our lighthouse is starting to take shape. So while the body dries up here, what I'm going to do here is come up with a base for it. All right. So the reason it's this big is that, remember, I'm going to fit it over my 5-inch post here, okay? So it's going to go like this, all right? And I want a little bit of a, you know, cap type effect. So I'm going to just take some measurement here to see, because I'm going to bevel the edges here and all of that, all right? So let's see what I come up with. All right, so I beveled the side, all right, so that it's all nice and kind of the coast type thing, right? I also made a block that is gonna fit inside my post, all right? I drew diagonals on the big board here on the base so that I can line this up. And then I'm just gonna take a couple of exterior grade screw and secure it there. All right, so I laid out a little hexagon here that will go into the birdhouse bottom, okay? And the reason this is important, all right, is that that's going to be, you know, this is going to be how I'm going to fix the bottom to the base. And then I can just put 3 little screws down here to secure it. And that way I can dismantle it to clean it, you know, every year. All right, one of the things that's pretty critical at the bottom of the birdhouse is to have some drainage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put a grid basically at the bottom here, okay? And then I'm going to let it drain, you know, on the side of the birdhouse. All right. So you're probably going to be better when you see it. All right, so this is what I did here. So nice little slits. So that way, when water drains it, it's going to go out. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to relieve. I'm going to put a little relief on the corners, of the main body, and they're going to be able to escape. The water's going to be able to escape without problem. All right. So a little bit of glue just to hold it in place. Not much here. And now the birdhouse is going to fit right over this. Now before we go any further, I need the body to dry, okay? Because now after that we're going to cut the roof, okay? And put the peg, and it's going to be ready. All right, so while this was all drying up, okay, I made the roof, which is really just a two-piece of wood, you know, with a little cleat in the middle so that they can, you know, hold it a little bit more strength. I also cut at the bottom, okay, if you look, all right, I put a little curve mark, and the way I did that, so I did the same thing I did with my base here. So push it on there, right? And I just ran my saw blade on every corner. So that way when I put it down, right? So those little curve mark line up with the inside, you know, the little grid pattern we did. So that's going to be plenty to prevent water from coming in. All right. All right. So another thing I did is to cut the top here. All right. So the way I did this, I have a 12-inch blade here, so it's tall enough that I could just, you know, do one pass like that, flip it over, and do the other pass, and that gives me with my roof, right? So what I want to do right now is start kind of figuring out the final placement of the fasteners, all right? The 3 fastener I want to put down here, all right? And drill a little hole. And use those sheet metal screws to just anchor it correctly to the bottom, all right? And a little chamfer bit so that I can just put a little chamfer, and I'm not going to press on it because I don't want the side to unglue, all right? All right, and I'm using number 6 3/4 inch screws here, all right? And with my little you know, and with my little chamfer bit here, I'm able to remove the you know, to inset the screw right inside, and then all I have to do is remove these screws so that I can take the top off. All right, so let's take the tape off and do the big reveal. All right, so the roof is going to go right in, and the little block I put in, right, is exactly the right size here. So what I'm going to do the same thing I did here. I'm going to put just a little hole to go get that block, all right? And I'm going to secure it with the same screws. And just to be sure, you can open it and see where the block has been, you know, pierced. All right. Going to do the same thing and use my chamfer bit here. All right, so the last thing I want to do is put the little dowel there, right? So a little bit more of that waterproof glue. All right, birdhouse done. All right guys, here it is installed. All right, so I put a couple of screws on each side, if you can see. All right, just to hold it in place. Yeah, kind of a simple project. Didn't take any time at all, a couple of hours and you're done with that. Yeah, just waiting for a first tenant. All right, hey guys, give me a like and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.